Hello everyone and welcome. Today you find me taking a detailed look at the 2021 Land Rover Range Rover Sport SVR Carbon Edition. Quite a long name frankly for an equally impressive vehicle. Let me show you what it's all about. For those unfamiliar with the Land Rover brand, there are three main families to choose from, namely Range Rover, Discovery and Defender, and then different models following each family. Each model, like the Range Rover Sport, is offered in various trim levels, with our new for 2021 SVR Carbon Edition sitting highest on the trim ladder. As you'd expect, the Carbon Edition gets tons of carbon fiber all around the car, including the exposed carbon fiber on the hood, on the front grille outlines and engine cover. Under that gorgeous cover hides a beefy 5-liter supercharged V8, putting down 575 PS and 700 Nm of torque, and sounding something like this. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like this video and feel free to skip to any part using YouTube chapters. Alright then, so sitting in the 2021 Land Rover Range Rover Sport SVR Carbon Edition, we have an excessive amount of carbon fiber everywhere around the car. Starting out with the hood, it's painted on the side, but it's actually fully carbon fiber. We have over here on the doors, on the panel over here, let me just close that cup holder. I mean, there's no such thing as too much carbon fiber. Now for the interior, you have an option to choose between 4 different interior colors. On this car, we have this white contrasting real nice with the black. And you can see those beautiful sporty seats. I'm actually in love with those seats. They're very comfortable. It does feel like a sporty car. You have the steering wheel sitting directly in front of you. And all the controls are right to your reach with these sporty seats. But you do have a commanding view of the road. You sit higher than everything else. Now the headlining is finished in the suede cloth, but you can get the less expensive Morzine, which is a recycled polyester fabric. Now in terms of interior tech, we have 3 displays. If I turn on the car right here, listening to that beautiful V8, you're gonna have the center screen tilt towards the driver, which is a nice touch. Now you can option the panoramic sunroof, either fixed or sliding. On this car we have it in sliding panoramic sunroof, and you can get it with gesture control by simply swiping, and the panoramic sunroof will basically open. Over here you have controls to open it up. So this is basically it. Let me switch to point of view style so you can see what the Range Rover Sport SVR is all about. Alright, so starting off with the steering wheel on this SVR Carbon Edition, we have carbon fiber accents over here with a nice SVR emblem down below. On the left you have your multimedia controls, phone, and you have these controls right here to control the screen in front of me. If I press on it to go to menu, and then simply press over here to go to the different settings. I'm going to be showing you more functionalities on this 12.3-inch digital display later on. On the right, you have cruise control stuff. Behind that, you have these beautiful aluminum paddle shifters with the plus and minus engraved in that. On the left, you have your controls for the windows over on the top, and then your mirror commands. If you press on it, the mirrors are going to close. That's me over there. And then down below, again, carbon fiber accents over here. You can see we have a small storage space. If I simply pull that, you're gonna have a small cubby space to hide whatever you want over there. We have actually big door bins, a Meridian sound system. You can have either 19 or 23 speakers in this car. Now to turn on the car, you simply have the key right here. Let me just slightly open up the window so we can hear that V8. Put your foot on the brake and hit that button, and it turns on to life. Taking a look at the center screens right here, we have 2 10-inch digital displays called the Touch Pro Dio. They are very high quality actually, I'm a big fan of that. Down below we have climate control stuff. Let's just put the fan down using this button over here, and then you close it. I like that there's double functionalities for these knobs over here, and you have the digital display down there. If you press on it, you're gonna have the option to change between ventilated seats and then heated seats if you rotate it to the right, which is pretty cool. Press it again, you're gonna have the temperature for the climate control. And then on the top you have your main infotainment stuff. Navigation, for example. It's not one of the best systems on the market right now. We're gonna have the new updated systems on the new generation Range Rovers, and it's basically a user-friendly system, actually easy to use once you get used to the system. If I simply put my foot on the brake and hit reverse right here, you're gonna have the reversing camera, which is cool with the lines right here. If I turn the steering wheel, you're gonna have it with the lines. If I press on 360, you're gonna have a bird's eye view, which is cool. Putting it back in park, as you can see. And then you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, which is always nice to have. You simply have to connect your phone and then it has it. If we go into dynamic mode, for example, right here, it's gonna tell you that it's only available in dynamic program. And to go into the dynamic program, you go onto vehicle right here, and then you press this button, and then it's going to display over there on the top your basic stuff, and you can change, for example, the engine, go into dynamic, the gear shifts, you know, some basic stuff you can play with. And then if you want to record your lap time, which is really cool, then down below the G-force, and you know how much throttle you're giving it. If I give it a slight bit of throttle right here, you're gonna have it displayed over here, which is nice. And then down below, an excessive amount of carbon fiber, as you'd expect. We have a nice leather wrapped gear shifter over here. I'm a big fan of that. It's small, but I mean, it feels very high quality with the aluminum accents down below. Over here you have your 4-wheel drive controls. If you simply press on it, it's gonna go to auto mode. If you pull it up, and you can turn to change the different driving modes: eco, gravel, snow, whatever, you know, your basic Land Rover off-roading stuff. And from these buttons right here, you can raise or lower the Range Rover. And then this button goes into low range. We have electronic parking brake, obviously. If I open up this huge carbon fiber tray, we have 2 cup holders, and if I pull that as well, we have a hidden storage space, you know, cubby space to put whatever you want. It's actually very deep. You can put a lot of stuff. And then you have a 5-volt power outlet, which is nice to have. Let's just close that up. And then opening up the center console, we have a refrigerator, which you open up as such. It's also quite deep, so you can put a lot of stuff over here. And then some charging stuff for the micro SD card. And then you have a cigarette lighter as well. Closing that up, you have a 2-stage glove box, as we're familiar with on Range Rovers. Simply press it up. Now this car has the CD/DVD player, so the storage space is slightly compromised over here on the top. But if I let it go, you can see it closes by itself. You have a spring mechanism. And then to open up the second glove box, simply press the other button, and it's actually a huge glove box. You can put a lot of stuff over here, which is always nice to have. Let's go ahead and see the back seat of the car, see what it's all about. Alright, so jumping into the back seat of the SVR, you can see I don't have much legroom sitting in here. I'm 186 centimeters or 6'1", and I expected slightly more legroom. Headroom is still impressive. I have this bit of headroom and huge panoramic sunroof, getting the light really nice inside this car. If I close up the door really quickly, I wanted to show you these lights over here are touch sensitive. So you simply press on them and they light up. We also have an air vent over here, which is cool to have in the back seat. Now in the center we have an armrest with 2 cup holders and a small cubby space with a net over here. I'm not really sure what you can fit in here, but I mean, it's there. If I close that up, as you can see, the seats in the back get the same sporty design as the front seats. Now if you want to sit in the middle, you can actually do that. There's a cutout over here, so I think you can fit. It's actually quite a comfortable seating. I have a lot of legroom, so you don't have to worry about that. In front of me, again, there's a carbon fiber center console, and you have dials for the climate control. And then below that, you have your charging stuff, 5-volt power outlets. Now the seat isn't that much comfortable. I mean, it's straight and slightly on the harder side, but I mean, if you have to seat 3 people in the back, you can do that easily. As you've noticed, the Range Rover Sport offers plenty of storage spaces inside the cabin, with small cubby spaces here and there. The automatic tailgate opens up to 780 liters of boot space, which is the same you get on the Porsche Cayenne. You can also lower the rear end by 50 millimeters using these buttons, as the car is fitted with air suspension as standard. Alright, so taking an exterior walk around of the SVR Carbon Edition, this example is finished in an SVO premium palette called Constellation Blue, which looks beautiful under the sunlight. You'll notice the exposed carbon fiber on the hood, as well as on the outline of the side grills. Our car gets the optional pixel laser LED headlights, which offer a maximum visibility of 500 meters of range, above 80 kilometers an hour. The Carbon Edition also gets 22-inch gloss black rims, complemented by the bright red calipers down below. More carbon fiber on the side, as you can see. And then towards the back, you'll notice the iconic Range Rover shape with the updated LEDs. A sporty race spoiler is also on the menu, along with the carbon fiber strip across the tailgate. And then down at the bottom, we have aluminum exhaust tips, contrasting really nicely with the darker color of our SVR. Alright, so a quick look at the instrument panel. You can see it puts that the center and rear differentials are actually open. You can lock them on this 4-wheel drive vehicle. So going on to the different modes right here, and then go to vehicle settings, for example, vehicle info, and then media stuff, driver assistance, you know, lane departure warning, and other stuff. You have the trip odometer, computer displays, and the display, you can change the layout of that. Let's go to one dial, for example. You're gonna have the map on the right, which is quite cool. If you go to full map, you're gonna have it displayed. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is that this area over here is touch sensitive. Now, it doesn't work all the time. I've tried quite a few times, you know, to swipe around. As you can see right here, it worked, but I mean, I would honestly go for the physical buttons, just easier to use. Despite most owners not really using their Range Rover anywhere away from public roads, it's a proper off-roader with impressive tech shared with other Land Rover vehicles. Terrain Response offers 5 modes for you to choose the most suitable, while the optional Terrain Response 2 adds the Auto button, which removes all the hassle and automatically adjusts to the road ahead. The Range Rover Sport can be lowered by up to 50mm and raised by 80mm and is able to rush in 850mm of water. With the option of locking the center and rear differentials, the Range Rover Sport has enough muscles to get it out of most conditions. Reliability is something I have to touch on also. Doesn't take two to agree that Land Rover vehicles haven't been the most reliable over the years. The most common problems on the Range Rover Sport include air suspension failure, power loss issues, and misalignment of body panels. Electronics tend to fail too, with software issues with the touchscreen, backup camera, cruise control, and air conditioning. Despite these mishaps, the Range Rover Sport remains one of the most popular luxury SUVs on the market, especially over here in Lebanon. The SVR adds to the drama with its juicy soundtrack and ever so fine looks, turning heads since day one. Big thanks to Land Rover Lebanon for having me, and stay tuned for something really exciting coming next week.